So welcome to our February call. Super excited to have you guys on with me today. Like I said, Brad has an amazing call lined up for us. I am recording, so for those of you joining us later on, thank you. And I know that you're going to get a lot of value out of this next hour. I wanted to start out the call today by congratulating Martha. Her picture's up here, but she just got back from the New Leader Conference out in California. And only about 400, I think Sandy said about 450, between 400 and 450 coaches earned that trip this year. So congratulations to Martha. I was just texting her and she said, you know, what I hear every year, that it's an absolutely incredible event. And I'm so excited she got to go. I've asked for her to share some of her top takeaways and tips and experiences in our team page next Tuesday. And that leads to my next quick announcement is that every Tuesday from here forward, I am going to create a Google Doc that each of you, no matter your rank, no matter your anything, are invited to be a leader in our Team Tip Tuesday. And what that's going to entail is just you coming into the team page live on Tuesday, and we'll do a Google Doc so everybody can sign up for a slot. It can be quick. It can be 10 minutes. That's totally fine. And just share something that's working for you, something that you feel like, man, I've really got a rhythm with this. Or, man, I just discovered this, neat thing. And don't let the little voices that say, everybody already knows that. Even if a couple people already know it, if you're rocking it, I want you to come in and share because there's lots of people who probably don't know it. And as we work together as a team, as we share what's working, I think it's really going to be a great experience and a great way for different people to emerge as leaders, right? You got it in you, so we want to hear it. The next thing I wanted to, another congratulations really quick. Diana's not on because she's a teacher, but Giselle and Diana, those are my personally sponsored, so I just know about them, but I'm sure that there were some others this last month, just hit Success Club All-Star. And that is really exciting. Success Club All-Star is when you've earned Success Club every single month for the last 12 months without missing. So Giselle showed us her face. Woo-hoo! And what's especially exciting about Giselle is that this is also her 1-year anniversary. So just like me, every single month since she enrolled, she has earned Success Club, and you can see already the results in her business. She's, a rising leader, and really excited for her and her success. And congratulations to Diana as well, who also hit diamond in her business last year. Now, is this like a coincidence? Nope. It's putting in that consistent work every single month and just choosing to show up no matter what, right? Finally, 2 more things. Success Starter Reset. Again, this was talked about on the National Wake Up Call, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's a huge opportunity. Most of your faces that I'm seeing are, Success Club rock stars, but if you have new coaches, or Alonso, you're a new coach, those of you who have never earned a Success Club point before, there's a promotion when you first enroll as a coach. The very first 3 months of your coaching career, as long as you earn Success Club all 3 months, and those traditionally have to be the first 3 months since your business opened, you have different things that you qualify for. And after the 3rd month, you actually qualify for a free event ticket to our Coach Summit that happens every summer. So traditionally, again, that has to happen in the very first 3 months of your business. It encourages you to get past that, point of a lot of people never, stop at the start. So what they've done, and I've never seen them do this, so huge opportunity again, is they have turned back the clocks on that. If you have never earned a Success Club point, it doesn't matter if you enrolled this month or a year ago, you are able and eligible to enter that Success Starter promotion for this month, next month, and the following month. So definitely a huge thing. Again, there's information on that in the frequently asked questions that you can look up. And lastly, Bob Heilig, I know I've been in the team page talking about everything that we've been learning with him over the last few months. And he is opening, and Fran's posted about it, and Angie's posted about it, and Mary's posted about it. Guys, it's huge. You need to be in there this week. This week he is doing a free recruiting challenge. It's called Revive Your Downline. But he has been, by far, as far as network marketing coaching, the best person I have learned from. He is not one of these people that says, let your hair fall out and stress yourself out and 10x everything. I don't operate well with that. I don't think a lot of us operate well like that. There's some people who do. So if that's you, awesome. But Bob really gets to the heart of why we're doing what we're doing. His whole system is called Legacy Leaders. He's really focused on the legacy that we want to leave as leaders and as trailblazers. And he's just been really, really someone amazing to learn from. So he is operating this free challenge for each and every one of you. You can get in there this week, and it's day by day, the most amazing notes, the most amazing systems. It's going to really help you gain confidence with really tangible steps to take day after day after day. So again, that was posted in the team page, but I will post it one last time when we hang up with this call, as well as some information about Brad. But without further ado, Brad is someone who I admire very much, and he reached out to me last week or a week or two ago and asked if I would, and it was crazy because I've been meaning to reach out to him because I heard he's doing these amazing calls, and I was like, we need him for our team. And there he was. So yes, it worked out perfectly. So I'm really excited to have him on the team today. He's done a lot of, mindset work himself and has now developed a coaching company system and online academy that he'll tell you more about later. But he comes from the Beachbody world. He understands all the intricacies, Success Club, Success Starters, this, that, the other. He knows all of that. And he has really created something that's going to help you level up your Beachbody business and your life. So I'll quit talking and turn it over to you. Brad, do you want to unmute yourself? There you go. You got it.
Sweet. What's going on, guys? Can you hear me? Is it coming through?
Yep, you're good.
It is coming through. Awesome. Well, thank you so freaking much for the opportunity to be here and present to your team, Amy. I really, really appreciate it. I do not take this opportunity lightly. And one thing I want you guys to know throughout this next hour is I will not betray your trust. I know you can't get your time back. This is something that you are going to absolutely love, and because you're going to learn how to master this thing. You're going to learn how to master that thing that goes on between your ears and overcome any negative self-talk that's getting in the way of you becoming the leader and the person that deep down you're meant to be in your life and your business. So before we start, silence the phones, turn off Instagram stories, be fully present here, and I promise you that you will find so much value. If you got to put the kids in the closet, do that. Whatever you got to do, just be fully present here. And let's start with some participation. In the chat box, write out a really big goal that you have for 2019. What's a really big goal in your business that you have for 2019 or any part of life? And as you're typing that in, there's amazing, Giselle, incredible, 5-star, keep these coming. There's a really cool thing about these goals. There's a recipe to making it happen. What does that mean? That means that when you learn, you're learning from one of the best coaches in the business on how to do this, right? 5-star league, 15-star team, all these incredible things that you want to achieve in your life and your business. There's a recipe to do that, meaning someone has done it before that you can learn from. The steps and the strategies are out there, and you can Google them and you can figure it out. Bob Heilig's got a great, that's an incredible resource for you. All those things to help you get to that next step in your network marketing business or in your financial journey, whatever it is. But something you might miss is that your online business is a personal growth business, meaning that how you go about using your ingredients in that recipe for success is what matters. So what does that mean? That means you could invite 1 million people with the best system in the world, but if your mindset is off, you're going to repel them. It means you could have the best training for your downline of one person or thousands of people. But if your mindset is off and you're not thinking straight, you're not thinking from an abundant mindset, you're going to find yourself saying, why isn't my team doing anything? You're going to feel stuck. You could put hours and hours and hours and hours into a challenge group or a free group. But if your mindset is off, they're not going to feel like you actually want to help them. They're going to feel like a pawn that you're using. So, and in fact, you might even be setting goals this year based out of fear because you didn't hit a goal from last year if your mindset is off. Instead of who you want to become, you're setting your goals based on who you are. So what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset is by far and above the most important piece of this entire journey. And you've heard that before. You've heard, read 10 minutes a day. Look at all those books back there. Read 10 minutes a day. You've heard to do your personal growth and development, but instead of just knowing that, Like, has anyone actually ever taught you how to change your thinking before? And if the answer is no, you're about to learn how on this call. Because instead of just knowing that you need to change your thinking, you're going to learn how to apply it when things are not going the way that you want them to. When things are like maybe going downhill, or you drop in rank, or whatever it is, you're going to learn how to change that thinking when you don't feel like it, or when things aren't going your way. So where does negative self-talk come from? Where do these limiting beliefs come from? And I'm going to show you with a couple quick stories where my biggest limiting beliefs, money is bad and I'm not enough, where they came from before I reversed those. And I'm going to share with you a couple quick stories. And the reason for sharing that is I'm going to share with you what they are and how I overcame them to get to where I am now. And then you're going to be able to apply that to your own life. So we're going to take whatever your limiting beliefs are and switch them into an amazing tool for your success and for your happiness. So follow me here. If you relate, amazing. If you don't relate, that's okay too. Growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood, and it gave me some really screwed up beliefs about how life was. And I'm curious, how many of you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, whether past or present? And if that's you, maybe we can relate in some way. This is something that I went through like big time in my life. I remember growing up, my parents would scream and fight about money almost every single day. There was always a limitation, some form of we can't afford that, some form of you spent how much money on what, like why the hell would you do that? And I remember witnessing screaming matches between my parents, and I never understood why. And I remember one time I was probably like 10 years old, and it was a bad fight they were having about why the bank account was being overdrawn again. And I go up to my mom and I'm like, Mommy, why do you guys always have to fight about stupid money? And she goes, shut the fuck up, go to your room. I don't need you around me right now. Like, get out of my face. And that was like a consistent theme in my childhood. That wasn't the bad part. The bad part was my dad comes over with a soap dispenser and starts pouring soap on my mom's head, on her neck, down her back, and all these, like, it was the closest thing I ever saw to a physical altercation. My parents never got in a physical fight, but that was the closest thing that I ever saw to it. And it instilled this belief in me that money equals pain. If any topic of money equals pain. And so we didn't know what to do. Like, all I knew is that whenever the topic of money came up, it seemed like someone was about to get punched in the face. And that never happened, but I hated it and I feared it. And you pair that with seeing them overdraft their bank account on a weekly basis, never having a peaceful Christmas or birthday, always saying no to vacations because of money, and seeing them eventually get divorced because of money is one of the main topics. I believe it tore relationships apart. It took me 6 years to propose to my wife because I thought that if we had money, it would rip us apart. And so my point in that is I believed money was bad. So you can imagine that when I'm trying to build my Beachbody business, for the record, like I was a coach, just like Amy said, for 5 years. I built a 5-star diamond business, loved everything about Beachbody, and found my calling in helping people break through the roadblocks of success and mindset. That's why I'm doing this now. You can imagine when I was starting out my business, I had the goals of freedom, the big dreams, and I had the limiting belief of money is bad. Do you see the disconnect? You see how it would hold you back in some way. And some of you guys are experiencing that right now. And on top of the money, I had an incredibly turbulent relationship with my mom. How many of you can relate to a turbulent relationship with a family member at some point in your life? And I want to say I love my mom very much. She's a very good person. I've forgiven her for the pain of my past. And I still forgive her on a regular basis. But getting to that point took some time because I was very angry and I was very sad. And I didn't realize that she was loving me in the only way she knew how at the time. I didn't realize that her being that way was the best thing that ever happened to me at the time because it created me. I didn't realize it then. But I had this one memory drilled into my head like yesterday, and it happened over and over and over again. And if you ever had like pain in your past from your childhood, like even if there's good memories, there's the painful ones typically overtake it. And it's like this memory that you can't let go of for some reason. I remember when I would get home from school, I'd walk in the door, and sometimes it was, hey, sweetie, how's your day? But most of the memories I have in my childhood were shut up and go away, or I don't need you around me right now, or you're not worth my time, or I don't need the opinion of a punk kid, or get out of my face. And I just remember thinking, like, sitting there whenever I walk in the door going, like, what do I have to do to get my mom to love me today? I was always like, why doesn't she love me? What did I do wrong? Like, why am I not enough for her? And my point in saying that story or sharing that story is because I grew up craving love and never feeling like I was enough. I never felt worthy. And it screwed with how I lived my life. I changed who I was, even if it went against my values, just to be loved. And so you can imagine this feeling of a lack of worth, a lack of worthiness, and feeling like I'm not enough. If I'm trying to create big things in my business, in my life, and I don't feel like I'm enough. Do you see the disconnect, right? So why do I share those stories with you? Because those limiting beliefs, money is bad and I'm not enough, controlled my life for the longest time. And you might have a different story, but where can you relate? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that you haven't changed the meaning to yet or haven't forgiven yet? Because when you're little, you're incredibly impressionable, and it's in those times that your belief about your abilities and yourself start to take shape. My reason for sharing that with you is when I started my business in Beachbody 6 years ago, it did not matter how many people I invited. It didn't matter that I hit Success Club every month for 4 years. It didn't matter that I put up all these great social media posts. It didn't matter because people could tell. Remember, if your mindset is off, they're going to be able to tell. And my team was not growing to match the effort that I was putting in. I was like, dude, why aren't you doing anything? You have the tools that you need right here. What is going on? How many of you feel like that with your downline sometime? And my bank account was overdrafting. I was like consistently just making a couple $100 a week. And I was just like skating by. And I had to figure out how to fix this. And I went on a journey of changing my entire life, investing thousands of dollars into my personal growth. Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, tons and tons of books, figuring out what was going on up here to break through those limiting beliefs and what was holding me back. And I went on a journey of becoming the person that deep down I was meant to be. That led me to the creation of my Course Appreciation Academy, which Amy and I will talk about at the end. That program is how I changed my entire life. So why I tell you that is because when I tried to build a business, and tell me yes if this is you, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk, the lack of worth inside, and the secret obstacles that I didn't even realize were going on up here stopped me in my tracks. And I couldn't create success no matter how hard I tried. And even if I did hit a goal, it felt hollow inside. And so there's a system to overcome that. We can't get over that. We can't go through that entire system in 1 hour. But if you take this really seriously, you're going to learn 3 of the major steps that I took to exploding my life. Number 1, write this down. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. The first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that before a million times, right? Change your thinking, change your life. If you want something different, you got to do something different. All these cliche quotes, they're cliche for a reason, but you've heard that before. I'm talking about rewiring your mind, the way you naturally think. So what does that mean? How can this actually help you? You start to tell yourself these stories, right? Money is bad. Building a team is hard. My teammates won't do anything. It's so much easier for Amy. I'm not enough. And if you say it enough times, you start to believe it. Like, how many of you guys, like this might be you, how many of you, like at a party over the years, have like to sound cooler than you actually are, you exaggerate a story a little bit just to get more laughs or get more attention? And then you get more laughs, it's a cool story, so the next time you go back to a party, you exaggerate that story a little bit more. And then now, it's 5 years in the future, you still share that story all the freaking time, but you have no idea what part of that story is bullshit or not. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You just don't even know what part, and sometimes you stop and think, is that actually true? And you don't even know, but you start to believe it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The same thing happens with negative self-talk. Only instead of it being a fun party topic, it sabotages your whole life. This is the way you naturally go through life. And you go through life believing these BS stories. It creates inner conflict. It changes the way you lead your life and your business. So how many of you, type yes if you feel like sometimes you're forcing people to do something in your business? You're forcing people in some way. That comes from your beliefs about yourself. And that's something we're going to break through today. Like, have you ever been sitting on the couch wondering why things aren't growing the way you want them? You have no idea how to fix it, and your only advice is, just keep working, it'll happen. And you hit Success Club, you find yourself there 3 months later, you're stagnant in volume, stagnant in rank, your paychecks are the same or less, and you're going, what am I doing wrong? And not nearly as much growth as you deserve. This is important, guys. To change this, you have to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business says that you're enough. And it's so important that you understand that. You have to believe that you're an amazing leader. You have to believe it even when the evidence of your business is saying that you're not. And you can change those beliefs by changing your questions. Write this down. Better questions change your entire life. Better questions change your entire life. Better questions will explode your business. Better questions will eliminate negative self-talk. Better questions will save your marriage, all of it. If you've ever faced a point in your life where you're trying to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you don't actually believe it, there's a reason. Like, you want to believe it really bad, but you don't. For example, have you ever done like a goal setting exercise or a vision board? And you have, the nice house, the debt-free sign, the 5-star or 15-star diamond, and all these things on your goal list. And you're going, oh my gosh, that would change my entire world. It would change everything for me if I hit that goal. And you're going, that would just be so incredible, be so amazing. I'm so excited about it. But there's like that little voice back here that goes, nah, dude, you're never going to get to that goal. You know what I'm talking about? Like you can barely hear that voice, like that little devil on your shoulder, just whispering doubt and insignificance in your subconscious mind. Some of you guys are nodding right now. Like you have to change that. That needs to change. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. And we can't go over all of it in 1 hour, but here's a great tool to start the process. First, what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. You're asking yourself a question. So if you focus on asking yourself bad questions, why am I not enough? Why am I not a great leader? Why is it so hard to find people to build my team? Why won't my team do anything? Why am I stuck? Why am I so fat? When you ask those questions, you get pretty shitty answers, right? But if you focus on asking great questions, you get great answers, meaning, why am I enough? Why can't I do this? Why am I worth something amazing? Why am I a great leader? Why am I so grateful today? Those are great questions. They lead to great answers. The mistake I made is I thought I just had to keep hitting Success Club. And yes, you do. You absolutely need to keep hitting Success Club. But there comes a point where you're doing it over and over again. And even when you do it, it feels hollow. It feels empty. Even when you get to 2-star, 5-star, it feels hollow. It feels empty and nothing's happening. And you're wondering why. So let me show you an example to show you what I mean. Look around the room and count the number of things that you can find right now that are red. Ready to go. Look for red. Count the things that are red. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. Pink can count as red. That's fine. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. Count the things that are red. Look for red, 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 look for red. Cool. Found some things that were red, right? Unless you genuinely don't have anything red in the room. How many things did you find that were blue? No idea. Why? Because you weren't looking for it. But check this out. Look around the room that you're in right now and count the number of things that you can find that are blue. Ready, go. Look for blue. 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 Oh my gosh, there's so much blue. Look for 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 blue. How many of you saw green and pretended it was blue just so you feel successful? So what did you just prove to yourself? You just proved to yourself that when you look for red, you don't even notice blue. And when you look for blue, you don't even notice red, right? So how does this apply to your Beachbody business? When you focus on what you don't want, red, why can't I do this? Why am I not enough? Those are the seeds of doubt and skepticism and pain. And those thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds. Remember what Jim Rohn said. He has an amazing quote that says, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. What does that mean? What did Jim Rohn mean when he said that? That means that unless you flood your mind with blue, it will automatically find red. So if you have negative thoughts going on in your head, the reason for that is because your brain's actually just doing its job. Why? Your brain's primary job is not to make you happy. Your brain's job is to make you survive. This is something I learned from Tony Robbins. Your brain's job is to make you survive. So at any moment in time, it's looking for what to protect you from. So when you think about your big goals, that could mean rejection, that could mean failure, that could mean someone says something mean to you or your family doesn't support you. That is perceived potential pain, right? So your brain's going, whoa, 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 don't go after that. It wants to protect you from pain. And where does that come from? 2 million years ago, you weren't worried about sending an invite on Facebook. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger that was hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your kid. That's what you were worried about millions of years ago. You haven't evolved much since then. So your brain is wired to focus on what's wrong at all times, and it won't change unless you program it with what's right. Does that make sense? So that's why you have to stand guard at the gates of your mind and flood your mind with what you want intentionally and consciously, or else your mind will automatically find what you don't want. So let's do an example that applies to Beachbody. Ask yourself this right now. Why am I not enough to build my business? Why am I not enough to build my business? Ask yourself that right now. What happens when you ask yourself that? It doesn't feel very good, right? Nice, Amy. It doesn't feel very good, right? And how motivated do you feel when you focus on that? Not motivated at all, right? And even when you read all these freaking positive thinking books, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice that says you're not enough. I shared, yes, fearful. I shared a couple stories a minute ago about where my biggest limiting beliefs came from. Money is bad. and I'm not enough. What are yours? And maybe type yes if you can relate to any of these. Why isn't my team doing anything? Is that a disempowering question you ask yourself? Or why can't I get it right? Or why don't people want to join me? Or how come I always mess it up? Or why is it so hard to lose weight? Or why am I so broke? Or why isn't it easier for me? Or why is it so much easier for Amy or Christina or Becky? Or why can't I do anything right? Or will I always be this stuck? How many of you guys are assholes to yourself on a regular basis like that? Those are limiting beliefs. Those are disempowering questions. It does not feel very good to ask yourself those questions, right? It leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination. You're sitting there looking at your life, frustrated with the results you're getting. And no matter how much someone tells you they believe in you, it doesn't change the fact that you have this voice in your head that says, I'm not enough, right? So when you set a goal, your dominant beliefs will determine if that goal comes true. And goal setting is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. You're trying to change your reality. The gap in the middle is what you look for, red or blue. And until that language is blue, really empowering consistently, you're going to find yourself stuck getting to your goals. You won't know how to get there. And I know this because I lived it. You're going to wonder why all your work isn't working for you. So let's use the example of why is it so hard to hit diamond? Ask yourself that. Why is it so hard to hit diamond, or whatever your next goal is? Your brain looks for an answer if you ask that question, right? So when you're sitting there at home going, why is this so hard? Your brain looks for the answer. And even if you're successful, you start to question yourself. That's how insidious negative self-talk is. Your entire life can be changed by asking yourself more empowering questions. So think of it like this. Your brain is a Google search engine. It will answer whatever you type into that search bar. And if you type in nothing, it's automatically going to type in red questions. So what if you intentionally reverse it? If your responses in your head are just like a Google search engine, that means that whatever you type in, you're going to get an answer. So let's intentionally type in a question that will lead you to a better life. Does that make sense? When you say, why is it so hard to build my team? Why is it so hard to hit emerald? Why is it so hard to lose weight? Whatever it is, what does your brain do? It finds all the reasons why it's so hard to build this business. That's what you focus on, so you never find the answers to your biggest challenges. When you sit down to work, you're looking for every reason why you're not capable, so you don't send the invites, you scroll Facebook. You don't listen to a team call, you scroll Instagram stories. You don't support your clients, you wonder why more aren't coming to you. You don't love and support your teammates like a servant leader. You check in with them like your mom would the first week of college. You force them to act. And here's what's crazy. There are amazing opportunities and people and blue that stumble across your life every single day to learn, to grow, to challenge yourself, to evolve. But because your software is running on the question of why is it so hard, self-sabotage steps in, and you won't even notice that dude on the park bench that has high blood pressure and you didn't talk to him and you could have literally saved his life with Shakeology. You won't even notice him. You won't even notice the mom that lives next door that has no freaking clue how she's going to pay for her kid's college education, and you have her freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even notice it if you're too stuck looking for red. Why is it so hard? Does that make sense? So let's change it up. Ask yourself this. Why is it so easy to build an amazing business? Why is it so easy to build an amazing business? Or why is it so easy to hit emerald? Or why is it so easy to hit diamond? What happens? Your brain goes, oh, it's only 2 people. That's easy. You look for an answer. You look for a blue. And even if you're brand new, you find all the reasons why you can do this. So when you say, like, why is it so easy to hit emerald? Notice how, or diamond, or next step, 15 star, whatever that next step is for you, your brain searches for an answer, just like that Google search bar. And you look for the opportunities, the people you could reach out to, the sacrifices you can make to build your business. Can you imagine if you filled your mind with just this one piece of growth every single day? And here's the key. You don't need to have an answer to the question you ask. You don't need to have an answer. You just need to live in a question that leads you to a better life. Because when you're in the right state of mind and you know the type of life you want to create, the how is going to reveal itself. I guarantee you, when Amy signed up to be a coach however many years ago, she had no idea how to get to the point she's at right now. But she figured it out because she focused on blue. The how will reveal itself. So live in an empowering question that you type into that search bar. Every problem you face is a question you haven't asked yourself yet. That's it. That's it. So for your life and your business, your homework coming out of today in just a little bit, you're going to write down all the negative crap you ask yourself on a regular basis, not just with Beachbody, with your whole life. Why am I so fat? Why am I so negative? Why am I so mean? Why am I not enough? Why does my husband always annoy me? Why am I stuck? Whatever those questions are, because everybody has them. Everyone. And if you don't believe that you have them, that is something limiting that you need to work on yourself, right? All those negative questions, you're going to write it all down and you're going to flip it into the empowering alternative. So you're going to turn that into, and by the way, by empowering alternative, I don't mean, why is it so easy to not be fat anymore? That's still negative. That's still focusing on red, right? Because you're focusing on what you don't want. What I mean is, why is it so easy to blank? Why am I so wealthy? Why am I so healthy? Why am I so vibrant? Why am I so energetic? Why is my business booming? Why is it so easy to lead my team? Why am I such a great leader? Why can I do this? 2 questions changed my whole life. 1, why am I so kind to myself every day? And 2, why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Yes, that's a great question too, Amy. Why am I so kind to myself every day, and why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Guys, life gets 100% easier if you are 1% nicer to yourself. 100% easier. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take these new empowering questions that you wrote down, that empowering alternative, and you're literally going to program your subconscious mind with these questions. The reason why most affirmations don't work is because you don't have enough emotional intensity behind them. And unless you're in a place where you can seriously scream those affirmations out loud and feel it in your body, your brain's going to go, bullshit, no, you're not rich. You're not healthy, right? It's going to say, whenever you say a statement, it's going to go, no, you're not, unless you do it with emotional intensity. So what I did is I asked myself questions, right? And so I literally recorded these questions with emotional intensity on my phone one time, and I listened to them for hours a day. When I showered, when I walked the dog, when I would drive a car, whatever it is, I would flood my mind with blue so it didn't have an opportunity to find red. Does that make sense? I didn't even let that survival-based brain do its job. I programmed it with what I want. Could you imagine, for example, let's say you use Post-it notes instead. If you have the Post-it note written on your car dashboard, and it's the last thing you read before you walk in the door from work, that says, why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse again today? How would your marriage change forever? Or what if you had an alarm that went off on your phone 5 minutes before your kids got home from school that said, why is it so easy to be such a loving mother today? Why is it so easy to be such a loving mother today? Think about how their lives will change forever, how much confidence they'll have as they go throughout life because of one question. This is about your life, guys. This is not just about Beachbody coaching. This is your life. And if you do this and you apply this and you flood your mind with blue, your life will change. That's a promise, a guarantee. That's not just something that you just hear one time on a call. If you actually do this, your life will change. What you're doing is you're watering, follow the metaphor here, you're watering a blue thought question or a blue thought seed, right? And you're watering it daily with a question. You put weed killer on this shit, you let those weeds die in your garden, and now the only plants that you water are the blue flowers. And within less time than you think, your garden is blooming with so many blue plants. It's giving your life oxygen again. And when your life has oxygen, you become magnetic. How many of you feel Amy's energy when you talk to her? How many of you feel her energy when you talk to her? You just feel drawn to her. That is because she's watered those blue plants and became magnetic. Is this one strategy helpful so far? Okay, I went a little bit over on that, but I'm going to try to condense the next 2. I have 2 more for you guys. Number 2, write this down. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem isn't the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? That means when you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually push that goal away from you. Now, don't take that to mean that you shouldn't be excited or passionate or get your hopes up about goals. You absolutely should. But what I mean is, when that goal is an absolute must and then you can be happy, you're making that goal harder to achieve. When your happiness is dependent on a goal, you're making it harder to achieve. How many of you feel, type yes if this is you, where you feel like if you're pushing really hard for a goal and it's like just barely evading you, like just barely out of reach and you don't know why, or maybe even if you are successful, it feels hollow and empty inside and you don't know why all that effort to get to 2-star left you with, well, now what, right? It's because you are attached to your dreams instead of committed. to your dreams. So let's break through this. When you think that way and you're attached and you come up short, which by the way, will happen from time to time. You're going to miss some goals. That's okay. But if you can't be happy until you achieve them, how do you feel when you miss a goal? You feel really crappy. You feel like your self-worth takes a little bit of a hit. And let me guess, self-sabotage, compounding negative self-talk, red questions amplified in your head. So you start to believe that you can't do this when it's not true. When you try to build a business this way, isn't it incredibly overwhelming and intense and stressful to try to solve that? How do you do it? It feels defeating, right? Because you have no idea what to do. So when you can see your challenges just as an objective question you're trying to solve, instead of seeing your challenges as responsible for your happiness, the challenges actually get way easier. And huge important note here, and this is a huge overarching principle of my entire Course Appreciation Academy. This statement is how I became successful. Business and success will not cause happiness unless you're already happy. Business and success do not cause happiness. Happiness causes success. Living in a beautiful state no matter what happens, that is what causes success. Happiness and appreciation for the journey and the challenge and honoring that struggle is how you overcome the struggle. Most people don't get that. I didn't. It's why I stayed stuck. You don't need to find the answer because the journey you're on is the answer. And if you haven't noticed, life is going to keep beating you in the head with louder and louder lessons until you listen. I love this quote that says, God will keep breaking your heart until you open it again. That's what this means, guys. Like, this is so important to understand. If you view where you are right now in your life, your business, your marriage, anywhere, if you view it as wrong, you're never going to get to what's right. Because all you're looking for is what's wrong. You're focusing on how it's bad. That's why Shaun T always talks about, you have to love the body you have now because that's all you got. That's how you create the better body, by loving what you have now, loving you right now. So seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. That's the fastest way to increase more good, is seeing what you already have. That's amazing. You hear the term abundance get thrown around in my industry all the time. What does that mean? That's literally what it means. It means that you just appreciate everything about your life as is right now, and you're excited about what you're going to create. That's all abundance is, right? And scarcity is that you think that you're never going to have enough and you're not going to get to where you want to go, and where you are right now is wrong. That's all scarcity is, right? And so what's awesome, like, step into the common sense corner for a second. I forgot which mentor I learned this from, but it's so powerful. Step into the common sense corner. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, and you're looking down on your creation, right? And you have person A and person B down on earth, right? And person A is that person looking for red. That person going, this is so hard. I can't do this. I feel so stuck. It's so much easier for Amy. I can't do this. It's raining outside. That means that it's just going to be a shitty traffic day. And oh my gosh, my wife is so annoying. My husband's so annoying. All this shit. That's person A. And person B is that person that goes, oh my gosh, I just joined Beachbody Coaching and I'm so excited to create financial freedom. I just overdrafted my bank account, but that's okay because I'm so freaking excited about the life that I'm going to create. And oh my gosh, there's these little bees outside in the summertime. They're like 1/100th of my size, and they have so much courage, and they come up to you and they sting you if you get too close. And this is such a cool place. I'm learning so many lessons and I'm growing so much, and I'm so excited about my goals that I'm going to create. You get the point, right? So step into the common sense corner. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, and you have person A, person B, are you going to give more to the person that's bitching about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves what they already have? That is abundance, guys. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. And what's awesome about this one skill is it means you don't have to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. Because instead of death gripping that steering wheel, slamming down on the gas and wondering why you're not going anywhere and your tires are spinning and smoke's going everywhere, and you see all these other cars flying by you on the highway to success and you're comparing to them and you just feel so stuck, you realize the only thing that's been wrong this entire time is that your emergency brake is on. That's it. You don't need to slam down harder and 10x your effort. You just need to release the emergency brake on your life. That's it. Most people try to climb this huge mountain of success, saying they'll be happy when they get to the top. Like, put your goals and your dreams on top of a mountain for a second. The problem with that is that it's the same thing that, like, climb. It's the same thing as trying to climb a mountain with a blindfold on. Because you're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to trip over rocks, you're going to break an ankle. It's going to take way longer to get up and running than it ever would have before if you would just follow the trail of life. And that's where you trip, you fall in, and you get in those slumps where you're going, no, this isn't going to work. I just don't think I'm meant for this. And you never build the consistency and momentum to build your dreams, right? And even if you happen to magically get to the top with that blindfold on, you won't even be able to experience the beauty because that blindfold is on. This is where it feels like it's hollow success. It feels empty up there, right? So what if you just take that blindfold off? And what if you just appreciate and love every part of this journey? What if you appreciate the scenery as you go? What if you take water breaks when you need to? What if you have a little bit more fun in this hike? And what if you just appreciate the trail that's leading you to the top of that mountain? What if every part of that hike becomes beautiful? When you do that, the top becomes so much more rewarding and you can actually see the beauty around you. And it becomes way easier to get to because you just follow the trail. Like when you live in the state of this must happen and then I can be happy, how the heck does that come off to your team and your social media posts? How does it affect your invites? Can you say desperate? And people can feel that, right? And even more importantly, how does it affect your relationship with your husband, wife, or kids? And most of you are trying to build a business that way. It is not going to work. So what if you let go? What if you just chill and be okay and happy either way? And you realize that your happiness is not dependent on your business. It's not. And you decide to love the ups and the downs, the valleys and the peaks. What if you become committed to your goal, super excited about getting there, pumped up about it, and committed to loving the hike? What if you go on this journey for the experience of hiking and not only the summit? What if you were committed to your dreams and not attached to your dreams? Does that make sense? And what if every single day you work hard because of the growth you experience and the lives that you contribute to? What if that's why you do this instead of trying to earn a result? What if you did it to become a better person? What if you did it for the climb and not just the peak? How would everything in your leadership, your success club, your invites, all of it, how would it go differently if that's how you operated your business? If you operate your business from a state of attachment, if someone says no, someone quits, there's a return order, you drop in rank, it's the end of the world and it takes way longer to get up and running. But if you operate from a state of commitment and love for the journey and the hike, then even when you're going down away from that mountaintop, coach quits, you get a return order, whatever it is, you learn something instead of hate something. And then it becomes so much easier to get to the top of the mountain, right? Because you don't make it wrong whenever you go downhill. Does that make sense? Like, you know that feeling you have in your heart where you feel like you're forcing things sometimes and not getting the effort, not getting the results for the effort you're putting in? What if that like went away today? And what if you became alive again and your energy became contagious again? How would your life change? Living this way makes success easier. And so, like I said, I can't get into the whole system of how to get there in 1 hour. That's what my program is for. But I can give you one final tip that will drastically change your life, that makes getting to that state so much easier. You guys have time for one more? Might go a couple minutes over, guys, but this is so valuable, okay? I call this the secret sauce. You might know it as genuine gratitude. The secret sauce, AKA genuine gratitude. And you're talking to someone that thought gratitude was a crock of shit for the longest time. I thought it was something that hippies do and tree huggers, no offense, tree huggers, and that's like what I thought happened, right? I thought that I was too cool for gratitude. But guys, gratitude is a business tool. Gratitude is a marriage tool. Gratitude is a success tool. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. So, and by the way, by gratitude, I don't mean when you're bitching about your life and saying this is so hard and I can't get to my goals, I'm wondering why I'm so stuck, but I love my kids. That is not freaking gratitude. That's you rationalizing why you're stuck in life and trying to feel better about it. That's all it is. What I mean is emotional, deep gratitude that you feel in your heart that I'll take you through in a minute. Write this down. It is impossible to feel pain when you're deeply grateful. Impossible. It is impossible to feel any disempowering emotion that slows your business down, anger, resentment, fear, jealousy, sadness, shame, whatever it is. It is impossible to feel any depression or anxiety when you are in a true state of gratitude. And if you're saying BS to this right now, it's because you've never experienced true gratitude and you still want to suffer. Suffering from challenges in your life is a choice, but those challenges are guaranteed to happen. Suffering from those challenges is your choice. It's up to you and it's optional. And by the way, you need to make sure you practice genuine gratitude if you do this. Like counting it in a journal is wonderful and definitely a positive thing, but it's not going to instill it in your heart. Okay? So opportunities, things, solutions, blue, come to you so much faster when you're grateful for the life you already have. You become magnetic, you attract things. This is Abundance 101. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance. That's what you need to know. So think about this. Let's have some perspective first. You're watching a video about mindset from anywhere in the world. You're probably on a couch or at a desk with a blanket on, or you probably have heat on if you live up where I live, or AC on where you live down where Amy lives. And you probably are wondering what you're going to have for date night on Friday. You're probably going to drive your car to your job where you make a great living for your family, or supplemental income for your family. You're probably going to take your kids to the doctor when they have a medical condition, or your dog to the vet if they have hot spots on their arm. You're probably going to turn on your Apple TV later tonight. And most of you take that for granted when someone is going to commit suicide today. When there is a mother out there who just watched her baby starve to death from not having enough food and water. When people are out there injecting needles into their arm to cope with pain right now. When there are countries that still live in communism. When most of the world lives on $2.50 a day, $900 a year. If you're in the bottom 1% of this country, you're in the top 1% of the world. You are so accustomed to miracles happening around you every single day that you don't even view them as miracles anymore. You probably view miracles as scarce and don't appreciate how literally everything around you was once a thought or an idea. This team, this entire team that Amy started was just an idea she had. It was that'd be really cool if. That's all it was, which proves that you can create miracles whenever you want to, because she did. So we have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be grateful if something happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up for suffering. If you can take away one point from this entire talk, it's the following point. This one thing: nothing has to happen for you to be happy. Nothing. And as long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something you don't control, what someone says, a goal, an outcome, something like that, you'll never be fulfilled in the way you desire. Even if you have success, you could be winning at life because you mastered the science of achievement, but you haven't mastered the art of fulfillment. And achievement without gratitude is total failure. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. That's a Tony Robbins quote. You are breathing. You are alive. That should be enough to smile about. And if you're smiling, business becomes easier, guys. Way easier. A lot of you have, one thing that I truly believe is that staying stuck in life, that's the complicated piece. But succeeding is so simple. It's so simple. We make it complex, and complexity is the enemy of execution. This is why the rich get richer. A lot of you have these high expectations of your spouse, your team, your kids, your volume, your sales. And when your life conditions, being the way life is right now, doesn't match up with how you think it should be, your blueprint for your life, you get frustrated, right? Almost like you have these expectations or rules of what needs to happen in order to feel successful and happy. You need to let that go. Gratitude is one of the ways, because your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, condition your mind to be grateful, and slowly the anxiety, the depression, the overwhelm, the fear, the negative self-talk, you're not going to notice it as much anymore. You're going to become excited about every single day. You're talking to a guy in Beachbody, so this is how I know I can help you. I lived this, where I knew what I wanted so bad, but I find myself stuck, like binge watching TV, wanting my business to grow, but not having the energy to do it, and not having the motivation. It was like this perfection and guilt loop where I needed to do my business perfectly. And if I didn't, I felt really, really guilty. And then I have to have a team call to get motivated. I do it again, and then I feel guilty when I didn't. And it was like perfection, guilt, perfection, guilt, perfection, guilt. This crazy 8 loop of just insane, staying stuck in my life, and then getting into a state of depression, anxiety, fear, and just negative self-talk compounding over and over again. And I'm sitting on my couch, wallowing in my sorrows. My laptop is sitting there staring at me going, bro, change your life. And I had all the tools I needed, but I just couldn't get myself to do it no matter how hard I tried. And I just didn't care, but I cared so much. And even worse than that, I was pissed off at myself for being depressed. I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could be. I was pissed off at myself for staying stuck. And from practicing what I teach in my course, this is how I broke through. Those periods of anxiety and depression and staying stuck went from one time, yes, a vicious cycle, 4 times a week to 1 time a week to 1 time every 2 weeks, month, 6 months, year. Now I wake up happy. Now my default setting is genuine happiness. And yes, there are still days once in a blue moon where I get the whole woe is me feeling and I get depressed and useless that day, but I don't stay there. And I can get out of it in 3 minutes using gratitude. In fact, what I learned from Uncle Tony Robbins, is that you can solve any challenge in your life and your business using gratitude in 3 minutes. So everything I talk about from here on out is something I learned from him. I do not take credit for this. This is something he taught me. It's something that is truly impactful, and I need to share it with you because it will make such a big impact on your life. What he found when they measured people that were trying to solve problems from a state of stress, they measured their brain waves and their heart waves. And they found that on the chart, like they were all jagged and intermixed. It was chaos on the screen, right? They weren't lined up at all. And they were having such a hard time solving the problem. But when they got into a deep state of gratitude and practiced what's called heart breathing that we're going to go through in a minute, what they found was the EKG and the EEG lined up and they became smooth and rounded, and they solved problems so much more quickly. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so for this next portion of the call, get somewhere where you can allow yourself to feel emotional. If you have people around, get away from them. If you have kids around, put them in the other room for a second. If you know that your video being on this chat will not allow you to play all out in this exercise, then turn your video off for 5 minutes, because this can make a dramatic impact in your life if you allow it to. Okay, so this is something I learned from him. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and keep them closed for the duration of this exercise. And think of something in your life that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10, a 7, 8, 9, or 10. Just something you don't know how to solve, unfinished business in your life that you just don't know how to break through, and you just feel stuck in some way. You just feel like you can't get through it. You don't know the answer. You just feel really upset about how it hasn't helped you. You haven't been able to get through it. You just feel stuck, and feel the anger and the resentment of staying stuck for a second, and just feel that right now. And once you have your moment in your situation that you're stressed with, shake your body out. Shake your body out, sit up nice and tall, and take both your hands and physically put them on your heart. And breathe deep into your heart. Like actually, as you do this, imagine the air flowing in your nose. Big deep breath through your heart and back out your mouth. Big deep breath again. In your nose, through your heart, back out your mouth. One more time. Deep breath in. Through your heart, back out your mouth. And notice already how your breath has calmed your mind. And keep breathing that way. Keep feeling that way. Keep breathing in your nose, through your heart, back out your mouth. And feel the power of your heart for a second. Feel it beating in your chest right now. Your heart beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. As long as it beats, you live. It's a gift. You didn't have to buy it. You didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this amazing gift of life the moment you were born. You have inherent worth because this heart is beating in your chest right now. It's the best and greatest gift you have ever received in your life. So just take a second and feel so deeply grateful for this incredible vessel that's beating in your chest. It beats even when you sleep. Think of all it led to in your life. Where is your life now? Because you have this amazing opportunity to live this life. And just take that into your heart for a second, feeling so grateful and so appreciative. And now go back to a memory in your life that you can feel deep feelings of gratitude for. What's a moment, any stage, any time, that you can step back into just feeling so grateful? But instead of seeing it from the outside, step back into that moment like you're there. Relive that memory all over again. See the same things you saw then, feel the same things you felt then, breathe the same way you did then, experience it all over again, right in front of you like it's happening. First person right now, right in front of you, and just feel so grateful for that moment, for that situation, that person. And just love it. And just cherish it and breathe that into your heart for a second and just feel so overwhelmingly grateful. And know that you have this feeling available to you whenever you want. And now go to a second memory. What's a second memory? Is it when you had your first kid? Is it when you said, I do? What's that moment for you where you could step back into that moment feeling so grateful? Doesn't matter if it's 10 years ago, today, just any memory at all, where you can step back into it and vividly picture it right in front of you. Breathe the same way, see the same things you saw, feel the same emotions you felt, and relive it. And just cherish that memory and take that into your heart for a second and breathe that deep into your heart and just love that memory for a second, feeling so grateful, so alive because of that, and just cherish it, just love it. Try to double the amount of appreciation you have for that moment right now and take it all in. And now think of a coincidence in your life, something in your life you didn't expect to happen, but it was placed in front of you. You were in line at Starbucks and you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant. Now you have an amazing family. You got a message on Facebook. Now you have a life-changing business or fitness program that's made such an impact on you. What's that coincidence in your life where you can look at it and just trust that it was really life happening for you and not to you? It's really beautiful when we believe that, when life is always happening for us and not to us. Even the problems are gifts that we grow from. So was that actually a coincidence, or were you being guided the entire time? And take that into your heart right now and let yourself well up with overwhelming gratitude for this amazing gift. And just like a flash, let it all go before you in front of your eyes right now. Feel the gratitude for your heart beating 100,000 times a day. Let that first memory flash before you right now. See it all over again and feel the same things you felt then. Now that second memory, stack it on top of your heart. Now that coincidence, think of all it led to in your life and why your life is so beautiful because of that coincidence that you weren't expecting. And now start to let that energy build. And feel the energy flowing out from your chest to your arms, up through your head, your stomach, your quads, your calves, your feet, and just feel the energy radiating even outside of your body now. And just feel the energy expanding and building, and feel so much gratitude, so much aliveness, so much peace, so much appreciation for this amazing gift of life. And just repeat the words, thank you, in your own mind. Those are the two most powerful words you can ever say. Thank you. And just appreciate it and just love this incredible gift of life. It is the best gift you have ever received because that heart is beating in your chest right now, and just feel so grateful, so appreciative, and so alive. And now go back to that stressor that you totally forgot about. Go back to that stressor, and from your heart, not your head, from your heart, breathing deep, go back to that stressor and repeat these words in your own mind. In this situation, from your heart, not your head, in this situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. In this situation, all I need to do is blank. Your heart knows the answer, doesn't it? You just proved that your heart knows the answer to your most challenging problems when you get into a state of gratitude. You can open your eyes. How many of you found something or felt something real from that exercise, from that experience? You felt something powerful. This is how gratitude is a business tool. This is how gratitude can change your entire world. Not just your business, but your bank account, your marriage, your happiness. It's impossible to feel pain or stress when you're grateful. Impossible. And guys, you have one shot at this life. That's it. You don't control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You were not put here to experience mediocrity. You were meant to feel fully alive every second of every single day. And I can actually teach you how to do that, because right now you're exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn to live the life you're meant to live. Instead of just knowing that, all you have to do to radically change your world is to make this just how you wake up. Make this your default setting. Like, can you imagine how the world would change if you didn't need a team call to feel this way? And if that's something that you think you can benefit from, if that's something you feel that you could truly impact your life, I'd like to take just 2 minutes and share an incredible opportunity with you that Amy and I have prepared for you guys. If you've ever been pushing so hard for a goal and it feels like it's getting further away, or it seems easier for other people, or you have all these trainings on Instagram stories and inviting, and you don't know why it's working for everyone else besides you. And even if you do achieve goals, if you still aren't fulfilled, it feels hollow inside. And some days you send 200 invites, some days you can't get off the couch. And you don't know what's stopping you from success and, more importantly, happiness. I've created an online course that will literally break you through all of it. It's how I went from stuck in my Beachbody business, literally what you do, to building an amazing business of happiness. The reason you feel stuck is because you have inner conflict that needs to be resolved. And I know this because I live it. No matter how hard you work, it still doesn't happen, right? Negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, lack of worth, all those things are keeping you stuck. And you've heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life. Appreciation Academy is how to change your thinking. It teaches you how to be happy. And because your leader is amazing, we've arranged a huge discount on this program. Jen Richardson, 15-star Diamond Coach, Million Club member, says, and I quote, Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business. I can go on and on with testimonials. I'm not here to impress you. It's just to show you the impact of this. It rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being the person that deep down you're meant to be. It's not a business training. Those don't work until you master this. And Appreciation Academy gets to the core of everything, how to finally believe in yourself, how to silence the inner demons, and how to live every day with a smile. Business and success will not bring you happiness unless you're already happy. Happiness will bring you success. That's what you need to master. And it's the only course I've ever seen that teaches you how to be happy and build a successful network marketing business all at the same time. It's 6 years of personal growth packed into a course, so you don't have to wait that long. So if you felt something real, my goal here is not to sell you a program. I think you feel that this is real. My goal here is not to sell you, it's just to impact you in such a positive way. This is not something where you get thrown into a course and disappear. This is something where I'm truly there for you every step of the way, answering your questions, commenting on your posts, and being in that journey with you. Okay, and there's payment plans and full pay options available for every single person. So even if you're in a tight spot right now, you can still do this. And if you have that negative way of thinking and things are tight right now, that's exactly why you need this. And I know how you feel because I lived it. I broke that pattern. In this course, I'll show you how I did it. Appreciation Academy will get you unstuck. That's a promise. So Amy is going to share a Google form in your team page right when you hop off here with an image. And if you'd like to grow together as a team and you'd like to get that discounted rate, fill out that form, and then tomorrow, or actually later today, I'll go ahead and send you an email with that discount code to enroll. But before I hop off, I'd love to turn it back to you, Amy, and thank you guys so much for the opportunity to serve you today. It's been a privilege, and I hope to see you in Appreciation Academy. It will make such a big impact on your life. So Amy, back to you, my friend.
Thank you, Brad. If you guys loved this, blow them up in the comments. Go, go. I know we have a lot on at work, but thank you so much. And you guys know how I always say personal development is the way to be successful in this business. It doesn't matter, you know, the other things matter, but this is the number one. So just like Brad said, until you master your mindset, the rest is going to be a really big challenge. You might have success here and there, but really the ultimate fulfillment and everything, and enjoying the journey and staying here long term and not feeling burnt out and not feeling like you're not enough, even if you're, it all boils down to mindset. And that's why I've spent all my years, spending thousands and thousands of dollars and going to events and going to all these things. And as amazing as you feel right now from this quick 1 hour, it's awesome. I'll put this recording so you can listen to it as many times as you want. However, doing this once a month is not enough. This is something that needs to be a daily practice. It needs to be part of your daily routine. It's just as important as your daily exercise, because the mind is just like, and I've said this a million times, the mind is a muscle. And you have to exercise it in the way that you want to live your life. So if you want to live your life in this place of gratitude and abundance and happiness, you've got to do it this way. And so again, I know not everybody can go to live events. I know that they're few and far between. So something, like this, like Appreciation Academy is just, incredibly, not just valuable, but like, guys, this is something that it doesn't just affect your business. It affects every aspect of your life. Every aspect of my life is, become entirely transformed due to the work I've done with personal development. So I'll put the information on our team page, but thank you again, Brad. It was an amazing call, and we're really thankful for your time here with us today. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. We'll see you on the team page. Bye, guys.